Boo, everybody! Welcome back to the HabWrap. I am your host, Harry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything related to the Montreal Canadiens. Tonight was the second half of a home-and-home back-to-back against the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you watched last night's episode, which I hope you did because that was a very fun one, the Canadiens won that one 4-0. Jacob Fowler with his first career NHL shutout in just his fourth game. Tonight, we were obviously going to be in Pittsburgh, and, well, we have something to talk about very, very quickly. It's just a kind of a minor move. Jake Evans has been placed on the IR, which that obviously sucks. But as a result, Sammy Blais has actually been called up. I'll be honest, completely forgot about him. Completely forgot that we reclaimed him from Toronto and were able to send him to Laval. He's got 9 points in 9 games. He would be in the lineup tonight, so we have called him up. I imagine we're probably sending him right back down because we're going to have Deneau Tuesday in Boston. But, of course, we shall see. I honestly will not be surprised if during the recording of this podcast it's posted on the Canadiens' Twitter, hey, Blais got sent down. But speaking of tonight's game, let's get into the stats. Let's get into all that. First, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get into the lines, do the game recap, then we can do the stats. The opening lines for the Montreal Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Bolduc, Slafkovsky-Kapanen-Demidov, Anderson, Beck, Texier, and Blais, Veleno, Gallagher. Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier, and Jacki Engstrom were on the blue line. And Jakub Dobeš obviously gets the start net for the Canadiens. Jacob Fowler backs him up. He will do that, obviously, because he played yesterday. A little bit of news regarding the goaltending. Samuel Montembeault is not expected to rejoin the Canadiens until after the Christmas break. So what that tells me is that they are probably going to trust Jacob Fowler against Boston, aka the state in which he played his college hockey. So that's going to be a fun homecoming of sorts. I'm sure he's going to have some family there for him. The opening lines for the Penguins now were Novak, Crosby, Rust, Mantha, Raquel, Brazeau, Koivunen, Kindle, McGroarty, and Dewar, Hayes, Achari. Spoiler, they're basically the exact same lines as yesterday. Witherspoon, Carlson, Kulak, Letang, and Shea Clifton on the blue line. Again, same as yesterday. Obviously, the goalie is different. Archer Shilovs gets the start. He started off very hot, and then I think the team cooled down, and especially coming into tonight on I believe it was an 8-game losing streak. Did not really help his numbers at all. But he will start this game, and Stuart Skinner backs him up again, just like with Fowler, obviously, having played yesterday. They're not going back-to-back. So now, to start the game, in the first period, the Habs do press early. Bexline gets some pressure. That's mixed into a line change for the second line. Hudson shakes a man off. Demidov drops a puck to Jacki. He takes a shot. Eventually, a puck makes its way to Shilovs, who ends up covering. Penguins then press 3 minutes in. Dobeš ends up knocking the net off as he makes a save. Habs go the other way off the draw. Hudson finds Suzuki, who drops to Matheson. A hard shot gets blocked. Hudson has speed. He stops a break for the Penguins. That was a good D play there. And the Canadiens go to a penalty kill early on. Dobson's called too for a delay of game for puck over glass. That unfortunately sucks. Not unfortunately, it's you get what I mean. I don't think I need to explain that by now. Habs clear early. Andy has speed. He pressures Erik Karlsson. Penguins do end up getting a few chances. There's a shot blocked and cleared by Kapanen. Kapanen, I thought, is especially recently, has been really solidifying himself as a guy who needs to stay with the Canadiens long term, in my opinion. Sorry, my mouse, I think, literally just died. Nope, there we go. All right, we're good. Sorry. I'm trying to navigate my notes and everything. Veleno then clears on a botched entry by the Penguins. Habs clear late. Habs are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill tonight. Sorry, I lost my place in the notes. The Habs can't clear then after the power play ends. Brazeau has a shot blocked. Habs do finally get a change right after Hudson has a good job keeping a puck. Habs finally get a change in, and right after, I should say, Hudson has a good job keeping a puck in at the line. Oh, nice tic-tac-toe play, and we score at 6:29. It's Oliver Kapanen. He has a one-timer in the left circle. He gets his, surprisingly, 11th goal of the year. He scores from Slafkovsky and Demidov. Hudson passed it right to Demidov at the blue line. He goes right circle Slaf, right across to Kapanen left circle. He one-times it. Beauty of a goal. He makes it 1-0. That second line's looking quite good. When Deneau's here, he might have to get used to being third line, I think. And yeah, before we can really even celebrate it, 27 seconds later, the Penguins tie it up. Crosby ends up tipping an Erik Karlsson shot home for his 20th of the year. He now has, I believe it's 18 20-goal seasons in his career. And that also ties him with Mario Lemieux for the most points in Penguins history. That's absolutely insane. Matheson is on the ice for a goal against. Duly noted. Yes, it is. And, just really good on Crosby to get away from Caulfield right as the shot's being teed up. He's able to get the tip on it. That comes after a failed clear. Brazeau has a hard hit on Carrier, and the Habs end up going to a power play shortly after. Jackeye, he goes in for a skate. He is clearly a little bit confident tonight. He gets tripped up, though, on the dump-in. Marty's probably thinking, hey, good shit. And it would be. Habs do go to the power play. The Penguins get a clear early. Habs are passing. They're getting open, but they're just not able to get many chances. Suzuki does have a shot. The rebound, Cole can't get on it, unfortunately. The Penguins end up clearing late. The Habs are 0 for 1 on the power play. Anderson then can't clear a puck after a good Penguins chance. And another penalty kill for the Canadiens. Engstrom is called too for tripping. That sucks. Habs can't clear, but they finally do about 25 seconds in. Anderson gets on a breakaway. He goes 5-hole, and it's a save. What else were we expecting? And back the other way, they score. I put it was Crosby in my notes, but that is wrong. It was Rickard Rakell. He scores. Crosby gets a secondary assist on it, and he stands alone first all time for points in Penguins franchise history. The bench rightfully clears for him. He is also 8th all-time in points, which is just insane. Congratulations to Sidney Crosby. Honestly, for a guy who's completely dominated the Montreal Canadiens throughout most of his 20-year career, not a big surprise at all. He would end up passing Mario Lemieux for first all-time in Penguins points against the Canadiens, especially with them, again, being his hometown team, the team he loved cheering for growing up. Again, I've always been a huge Crosby fan. Absolutely happy for him. Very happy for him. Can't wait to see him come to Montreal in March, though. Gallagher's taken down in front of the net. He then is slow to go to the bench. He would stay in the game. There's a few injury scares like that. Very weird. Penguins push for the 3-1 lead. Dobesh makes a good save. The Canadian skaters had lost all momentum at this stage, though. By the way, Crosby scores from Karlsson and Rakell. Rakell scores from Rust and Crosby. So, forgot to do that. Now we did. Penguins push for the 3-1 lead. Habs do start a rush, but there's an Anderson pass, of course, that gets turned over. Jackeye then sits down McGroarty. Good check there. Not aggressive one, but just a, hey, you're in the NHL, kid. Watch yourself. Habs end up icing a puck twice in a row. During a TV timeout, they play a tribute video for Sid passing Lemieux. That's pretty cool. Penguins end up with a 2-on-1. Matheson is the lone man back. He ends up tipping a doer shot just wide of the net. Believe me, if he tipped that into the goal, I would be profusely yelling my head off right now. I would be blue in the face probably. But because he tipped it wide, good D play. Habs look to press in the final minute, but Caulfield unfortunately just runs out of time. These shots are 14-8 for the Penguins. They have a 2-1 lead after the first period. In the second period, Mantha early gets a shot, but that's just wide. Bolduc has a nice hit at the benches. Matheson then has a hit. Anderson goes high on McGroarty moments later. A little bit surprised that wasn't called, but obviously I'm happy when we don't take penalties. Habs then ice the puck twice in a row again. Penguins can't get anything. Back the other way, Slaf gets a rush chance. Kapanen goes just wide, and then moments later, we score! Ivan Demidov with his 8th goal of the year. He scores at 3:54. A beauty of a one-timer as he was left all alone. He ties the game up from Slafkovsky and Kapanen, so that second line, they're looking quite good. Now we just need to find someone who can play with Cole and Nick. Spoiler, I think Sidney Crosby would do that pretty well if you ask me. All right. A tie game. Demidov, he's looking like he's saying, hey, everybody's saying these Seneca and Schaefer, these S names, they're going to win the Calder. Nah. Leave it to the boy. Leave it to Ivan Demidov. I carry the team on my mofo back. All right, so with the tie game, Habs press. I don't know why I turned into that viral video from like 2008 for a second there. Habs press for a lead. Beck finds Blais, who just waits a second too long to take a shot. That ends up stopped by Shilovs. It was a good one, though. Habs were starting to find their legs at this stage in the second. There's a good near odd man rush, but Shilov holds after a low rush after a low danger chance. That's what I'm trying to say. After a low danger shot, my God, there's some back and forth, a bit of a sloppy play from the Canadiens. Not a lot of passes connecting for them, but luckily for them, the Penguins aren't able to pressure all that much. There's a shift where Blais and a Penguin exchange a couple hits. Hudson then has a nice hit on Brazeau behind the Habs net. Canadiens, though, ice it moments later. Anderson pokes at Shilovs. He gets dumped in front of the net. We get a bit of a scrum. Anderson gets up and he starts punching several Penguins. Kulak, Letang, and there was one other, I forget who, with the refs holding them. And there's no penalty. I am just as baffled as any Penguins fans who might be watching why there wasn't a penalty there. Even like an even up call. I would understand an even up call, but I'm very surprised there was no penalty on Josh Anderson there. Crosby off the next faceoff backhands it right on his own net. It was so weird. He wins the draw, and the backhand was so strong it just went to Shilovs. He ends up covering it. He then covers on a low right circle shot from Dobson off the next draw. The shots were 7-1 Montreal halfway through the first period. The Canadiens would have one shot through the remainder of the second period, unfortunately. Achari then misses a chance just wide on a good rebound. He just misses one on a rebound. Yeah, there we go. Habs try to rush, but there's a bouncer that's just by Caulfield's stick. Achari's eventually found on a stretch pass. He's on a break, and he scores. He goes up glove side on Dobesh. Long-range shot. Dobesh is going to want that one back. It's 3-2 Penguins with just about 8 minutes left. Achari scores from Letang and Archer Shilovs. That's right, the goaltender gets an assist there. He now tied for the lead in goaltender points this season. I find it funny they brought that up on the Penguins broadcast. Just Dobesh needs to make that save, and unfortunately for us, he didn't. Kapanen has a good hit in his own zone to stop a possible passing chance. Penguins in control. Dobesh ends up icing a puck by himself. Raquel tips a Letang shot high. Dobesh is then down. We've got a scrambling play. Dobesh makes several good stops, including a really, really good diving glove on Rutgerd McGroarty. That was a very good one. That almost made up for the lack of save on the Noel Acciari goal. And then we've got a scrum. Gallagher cross-checks a Penguin while he's down. St. Ivany. I probably said St. Ivory in the line, so I apologize to any Penguins fans. I'm saying it right now. St. Ivany goes after Gallagher. We got a scrum, and there's a referee down. As they're being separated, it looked like St. Ivany pushes at the official. Not pushes him, but is pushing kind of off him, more so on Gallagher. And the leg ends up folding underneath. That was a bit owie, but unfortunately, I don't think would be back. I didn't notice 4 officials on the ice after the shift, but then again, I wasn't really looking. I feel like it would have come to me if it did. So surprisingly, the only ones to the blocks are Blais and Shea. They go off for roughing, 2 minutes each. We'll go 4-on-4. Letang has a shot that's stopped, but doesn't get held. Suzuki then somehow gives a puck to a fallen Letang. Crosby isn't able to put it home on the back door. Penguins with control. They press, but they just can't grab the 2-goal lead. Kapanen has a long shot stopped by Shilovs as the Penguins had taken back full control and momentum at this stage. Penguins press in the final minutes. There's a Koivunen shot just stopped at the buzzer. Shots are 28-16 for the Penguins, who have a 3-2 lead after the second period. So Yeah, despite the Canadiens almost being outshot by double, weirdly, I'm not entirely mad about this game. I'm actually kind of happy so far. We're only down by a goal. We're still playing relatively all right. Again, we're staying in it. It's the second half of a back-to-back. One of these teams we're gonna play sloppy, and it just turns out that it was just us tonight. I don't take this as we fell back down game. I just see it as second half of a back-to-back, a home and home. You're playing the same team. They probably just took advantage of some of the things that they saw last night in their game. No big deal. If we play this way against Boston, then there's cause for concern. However, to get to that game, we got to talk about the third period. In said third period, both teams exchanged some icings in the opening minute. Jack has a good hit early. Another pair of icings get exchanged 3 minutes in. Habs press. They get pressure with the puck, but they can't shoot. And then, wow, they do. And we score at 4:04. Noah Dobson scores on a backhander, his 6th of the year, his 20th point as well of the season. He scores on a backhand as Beck was being knocked into Shilovs. He's able to get out of the way. And just in time, because that's when Dobson buries it on the backhand. He just joins a play. It's not like one of those, from the blue line he backhands it. No, he's right in front of the net. He went with that thing. Good to see that. It's a 3-3 tie game. Dobson scores from Sammy Blais in his Habs debut. He gets an assist. And Mike Matheson. So Dobson ties the game up. Love to see that. Penguins end up stealing a puck from Kapanen. There's some good D that just prevents anything dangerous to get on net, though. Veleno ends up having a shot deflected out of play the other way. Habs press, but there's a good Kindle steal as he really hustled to get back in time. There's a shot from Erik Karlsson that's held. And the Habs go to a power play. 7 minutes in, Novak's called for a slash on Beck. Jack-Eye and Brazeau kind of shoved after the whistle. They had a bit of a discussion, but nothing would come of that. Habs press early. There's a Demidov stick that breaks on a one-time chance. Caulfield has the same thing happen to him late in the power play. That's just horrible luck. Aside from that, the Habs set up. They had a bit of zone time, but just not much, unfortunately. Habs are 0 for 2 on the power play. There's a centering feed for Veleno, but the shot is stopped by Shilovs. That was a very good save there. Back the other way, the Penguins have a shot that's held by Dobesh. There's a backhand shot that goes off Kindle. Slav pokes at Shilovs, who's right as he ends up covering that puck. Both St. Ivany and Rutger McGrory go after him. Slav's just smiling at them as he kind of pushes them away. I love to see a confident boy like that. Habs press, there's a chance for Suzuki, but that's off the post as Shilovs was almost caught off guard. Wertherspoon, then it looks like elbows Bolduc into the boards. No call there. Bolduc was very slow to get up. I believe he would play the rest of the game, thankfully. There's a turnover that leads to a Brazeau chance. He gets hooked by Beck with 8:37 left. Habs go to a penalty kill. Yeah, Beck hooked a guy, so the Habs go on the power play as a result. No, they go to the penalty kill. Penguins bring it out 5 seconds in. There's a bit of board play. Anderson was on Crosby. There's a Karlsson shot blocked. Not much else to note. Habs do kill it. The Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. I believe that's what it would be. No, sorry. Wait. Oh, that Raquel goal was a power play goal. Sorry, the Canadiens are 2 for 3. Did I miss a penalty? No, did I miss Engstrom getting tripped by No, Engstrom tripped Rutger McGrory. Okay, I see what happened. No, 0 for 1, yeah. No, we were 1 for 2. Okay, so never mind. I was all kind of messed up in this game. Sorry. So the Canadiens at this stage are actually 2 for 3 on the penalty kill after that one. My apologies. My God, that was a bit of a mistake there. Penguins go long range. There's a couple shots. They look for a tip or a screen. There's a St. Ivany shot held with 5 minutes left. There's a puck battle along the boards. Okay, so Bolduc was out because he has a hard cross check on a Penguin. No call, surprisingly, but I'm fine with that. Pens press. Crosby has a tip that just sends a puck over the net, barely. Habs ice one with 3:30 left. St. Ivany runs into Veleno without the puck. There's no call. Veleno was slow to get up. You gotta call that. Veleno's nowhere near the puck. Ivany comes in. He steps up on him. No clue how that doesn't get called. Karlsson dangles around Suzuki. There's no shot. Both teams are kind of content to go to overtime with 1:45 left. Hudson has a shot off a skate. Penguins try to get something, but just either side won't really let up, give anything away. Shots are 30-22 for the Penguins. It's a 3-3 tie headed into overtime. In said overtime, Caulfield wins the draw as Suzuki helps him out. Habs with puck control, they try to set up. There's a board play won by Hudson. He has speed around the net. He goes to the front. There's a chance, but Shilov covers. Good backhander by Hudson as well, but Shilov covers after that. Off a draw, Kapanen has a shot stopped. Slaf ends up going to Matheson, but that's blocked. Slaf drops to Matheson. Doesn't get all of the shot, unfortunately. Demidov has speed, and he ends up running down Shilov's as the puck goes through the crease. Damn. Penguins find Carlson on a break. There's a good save there from Dobesh. Habs go the other way. Caulfield almost gets found in all alone, but the pass just isn't there in time. Final minute, it's all Canadiens. Slaf steals. He pressures right down the middle, but the shot is off the crossbar. Matheson then goes off the post. With time running down, desperation pass to Caulfield. He is stopped with the pad. A great shot there. The Penguins would get one shot in that overtime. The Canadiens outshot them 4-1. Yeah, so the shots. 31-26 for the Penguins. Sorry. The shots 31-26 for the Penguins, and we go to a shootout. In said shootout, Kevin Hayes is out first. He just waits out Dobesh and goes high over the blocker. Sort of a Datsuk move. He's going right, ends up shooting left. Good deke, but that sucks if you're Dobesh. For the Canadiens' first shooter, Texier, he's out. He starts slow, tries to go for the one-hand backhander, but he just can't get it. Shilovs has him scouted. For the Penguins, Crosby, he goes down the middle, and the shot's just off Dobesh's glove and out. For the Canadiens, Caulfield comes in. He's a bit slow to start, comes in with quickness, and scores over the glove. Waits until Shilovs gives him a bit of an opening. He puts it behind him. For the Penguins, Rickard Rakell. He just waits out Dobesh. A nice deke. Puts it home and makes him look like an AHL goalie. That is oof. And for the Canadiens, Nick Suzuki. He starts out slow. Good hands. Good deke. But just can't get it over the pad and the glove of Shilovs. Couldn't lift it enough. That would have been a great goal, but unfortunately Shilovs just really scouted him, knew where to stop him, and he does. The Penguins take it 4-3 in a shootout. Again, a very, very close game. Just one that unfortunately the Canadiens couldn't pick up the win on. So yeah, overall a decent game, I would say. I think the Canadiens played fairly alright, considering second half of a back-to-back against the same team. Very good defense at moments. Other times, a little bit sloppy, but again, second half of a back-to-back, you can probably expect that. If we play this way against Boston, that's going to be a bit rough. However, if we improve, then you can probably write this game off, and we still get a point out of it. We've gotten points in, three of the last 3 games? All 3 of our last games, so we're still second in the Atlantic Division, at least last I checked. Let me refresh really quickly. And if my internet wants to work, I'll be able to tell you. We will do the stats, obviously, right after this, by the way, as per usual. The NHL site appears to quite possibly be crashing right now, which would not be ideal. Alright, yeah, so I looked it up, and yes, we are still indeed second in the Atlantic Division. We now have 2 points on the Lightning, who have a game in hand on us. 2 points back at the Red Wings, who we have a game in hand on. So now, let's get into the stats, and let's get out of here. Nick Suzuki, he leads the Montreal Canadiens with 10 goals, 30 assists for 40 points. Cole Caulfield leads the Canadiens in goals. He's got 17 with 18 assists for 35 points. Lane Hudson, he's got 5 goals, 27 assists for 32 points, along with 10 assists in his last 7 games. Ivan Demidov has 8 goals, 20 assists for 28 points. Slafkovsky, 10 goals, 13 assists for 23 points. Ivan Demidov, 8 goals, 20 assists for 28 points. I think I got that wrong. Noah Dobson, 6 goals, 14 assists for 20 points. Oliver Kapanen, 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 points. Mike Matheson has 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points. He snaps a 5-game pointless drought. Zach Bolduc, 9 goals, 7 assists for 16 points. Josh Anderson, 8 goals, 4 assists for 12 points. Alex Newhook, who's unfortunately still hurt, has 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. Brendan Gallagher, who has 2 goals, 10 assists for 12 points. Jake Evans, who is unfortunately hurt, has 5 goals and 5 assists for 10 points. Alex Carrier has a goal and 8 assists for 9 points. He is now on a 5-game pointless drought. Oh no. Kirby Dach, who's unfortunately also hurt, he has 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points. Alexander Texier has 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. Jaden Struble has 5 assists. Joe Veleno with 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. Caden Gooley, who is unfortunately still hurt, and Arbor Jacki both have a goal and an assist for 2 points. Owen Beck's got a goal. Patrick Laine, who is unfortunately hurt. Florian Jacki and Jared Davidson, who are both in the AHL. And Sammy Blais all have an assist this season so far. Arbor Jacki leads the Canadiens with 4 fights. Jaden Struble's got 2. Josh Anderson, Joe Veleno, Caden Gooley, and Florian Jacki all also have a fight this year. Jakub Dobeš leads the Canadiens with 13 wins, with a 13-5-2 record, a 2.90 goals against average, and an .894 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault has a 5-6-1 record, a 3.65 goals against average, and an .857 save percentage. He is again in Laval on a conditioning stint. And Jacob Fowler, he easily is the Canadiens' best goaltender with a 2-1-1 record, a 2.49 goals against average, a .915 save percentage with 1 shutout. So yeah, that is it for the Canadiens stats. That's it for the Canadiens notes. We're about to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the HabWrap. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Spotify, Amazon, wherever else you might be listening to the podcast. Please don't forget to share with anybody who you think might enjoy as well, such as a Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's looking for a Montreal Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think might just enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game. Again, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Harry Rice, and always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how good we are like this year, or how great we'll be in the future, go Habs, go, Allez Montreal, and say it with me, everybody, C'est le but!